There are 13 energy centers in and outside of your body, below your feet and above your head. They're called your chakras. Your chakras govern your reality. They make your life happen. They're fueled by your subconscious thoughts, your life force, your action, sexual energy that exists in all of us, creating from the vibration that flows within us. Constant, consistent creation, directed by the choices that we make. You have the right to be who you're supposed to be, so what's it gonna be? You are the master of your vibration. Feed your mind for elevation. There is no time for contemplation. The time is now. So what's it gonna be?
We give thanks. We give thanks. We give thanks to the Most High, known by many names. We honor you. We honor the spirit within and without. We give thanks to our great ancestral lineage. We give thanks to the directions of north, south, east, and west. We give thanks to the center in which we dwell in. We give thanks for air, water, fire, earth, and spirit. We recognize all that we are. Holy, holy, holy. Inner presence, great and mighty. Inner light that shines divinely. Inner life that lives completely. Inner joy that smiles serenely. Inner peace that flows so deeply. Inner calm, untroubled, happy. Inner love that gives so freely. Inner truth that never fails me. Inner power that holds securely. Inner eye that sees so clearly. Inner ear that hears always. Inner voice that speaks supremely. Inner good that binds me to thee. Holy, 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 Lord God within. Giving thanks for the great mothers and the great fathers. Giving thanks for all that is and all that was. Giving thanks for this present time in the now. Giving thanks for this sacred space, this divine space, the grand rising of the matriarch. Giving thanks for Master Vibration 13. Giving thanks for Queen Mother's ancestral sacred palace. Giving thanks for I Ready Healing. Giving thanks, giving thanks, giving thanks. Ashe, Amin Ra, Ma'at.
That is with thanks and gratitude. Thankfulness and gratefulness are sitting in a sea of absolute thankfulness and gratitude. I give thanks to all those who are either tuned in, want to tune in to the frequency, the energetic vibration of the grand rising of the matriarch. I give thanks for our Minister Reddy, Shakira Ra Ra Ra. I give thanks to our Minister SCG 13. I give thanks to my ancestors, my virtuous and righteous. I pay homage to my virtuous and righteous ancestors. I pay homage to all those who fought for freedom, who wanted to fight, I pay homage. I pay homage to all those known and unknown, sung and unsung. I pay homage. I pay homage to the ones who were on that boat, those ships, and saw the vision of what would happen. And they decided, no, we're laying down in the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, who's in the deep, deep, dark Bermuda waters. I pay homage. I thank you for your courage and your strength and your wisdom. I thank you, Egungun. I thank you, ancestors, for being the fist around us, our first line of defense. I thank you for watching over us, keeping us safe from all hurt and harm. Ancestors, you live. Ancestors, you speak. Ancestors, you hear. And ancestors, you give. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you. We honor you. We will continue to spew the gin. We will continue to pour the water. We will continue to call your name 3 times. We will continue to talk about your legacy. We will continue to talk about you to keep your spirits alive. We will continue to feed you to keep you alive. We will honor your spirits. We will honor the wisdom. We will continue the legacy. And I'm asking that you raise somebody up in the bloodline so that once I'm no longer on this plane of consciousness, that my legacy continues and I live the virtuous and righteous life for someone to pour the water for me and call my name 3 times.
Ashe.
So we thank you and we honor you. We run in your errands. We're hearing your voice. We're carrying your messages.
Yes.
We know the veil is being lifted.
Yes.
But we're asking that you watch over these children at Gungun.
Ashe.
Keep them safe from all hurt and harm. Our babies need to be protected. They are our future. For every wicked plot and plan that has been placed against them, reveal it. Not in vindictiveness, but in righteousness. No stone unturned. We know the energy that's being returned back to this planet. It's the divine matriarch. Open our eyes, our hearts, our minds, and our souls and our spirits to the divinity, to the sacredness of who we are. Open the brothers' minds and hearts to who they are. So they can see the truth. Restore the family back. Restore the land back to its rightful owners. Let us always walk in Iwapile, good character, gentle character. Let us not sell our ori. Let us not sell our heads. Let us listen to the divinity. Let us listen to our intuition. I give thanks to you. I honor you. I love you. I adore you. I say, Iba, Iba. I pay homage. I pay homage. Ashe, Amen Ra, Maya. To, to, to.
Ashe. Iba, yea, Gungun. Giving thanks. Giving thanks. Allow that energy to permeate all that is throughout the entire planet. May this frequency reach all, even those who may not listen, even those who may not be tuning in. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the strong, long stretch of this vibrational frequency of the grand rising of the matriarch. Yes, yes, we are so grateful. We sit on the what? The throne of gratitude. Ashe. I am Minister Ready, Sakira, Ra, Ra. Thank you so much for tuning in to this grand service, this divine service, the grand rising of the matriarch. I am here with I Minister im-ojyemi. It is an honor to be here with you, Iya. We also have...
Honored to be here too with you too, sis.
Yes, thank you. We also have I Minister SEG13, the production by MasterVibration13.com. We are so grateful. Shout out to I Minister Solutions 13, and shout out to all of the I Ministers, and a special shout out to you for tuning in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is definitely an honor to be of service, to provide this service, the grand rising of the matriarch. This evening, we're going to go into giving and receiving. Giving and receiving. Receiving and giving, giving and receiving, receiving and giving. And the question that we are going to be authentically and openly discussing is, are you open or closed to receiving and giving? Are you open or closed to receiving and giving? For the most part, many people are on the wanting end. We want. We have needs that need to be met. Of course, we all have bills that need to be paid. We all have obligations that require our attention. But a lot of times we may complain, or people may complain about what they have not gotten yet, or may complain about giving and not receiving. But are you open or closed to receiving or giving? I know there's a saying that says, how does that saying go? In order to receive, you have to give. Be a cheerful giver. There's a law. If you give with a pure heart and pure intention, that you automatically are to receive tenfold of that which you give without an expectation of receiving. The universe will return unto you that which you have given, like a harvest, like you plant the seeds, the season passes, and you expect your harvest because you know what you planted. You know, last week we talked about nurturing. You know what you have nurtured, what you have put your attention to, and so you're expecting a harvest from that. So I'll say the question again: are you open or closed to giving and receiving? I Minister im-ojyemi. What are maybe some signs of whether you are open or closed to giving or receiving? Maybe we should open it up from there.
Well, I'm not the receiving piece of it. Let's start there.
Okay.
A lot of us aren't open to receiving. When someone gives us something, what's the first thing we say? Oh, no, you don't have to. No, thank you. I'm okay. I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
Or
yes.
Someone gives you a compliment. And you like, oh, you don't downplay it. No, you downplay yourself. You don't that receiving piece, because when someone gives you a compliment, oh, you look beautiful. Oh, this whole thing. That's a downplay
exactly
of
what I was
yourself.
thinking. Yes.
That's a downplay of your value. That's a downplay of your self-worth. So when someone gives you something, that's a sign that you're not worthy. You're closed to receiving. You don't think that you're worthy. You don't think that you're good enough to accept. And that's that programmable piece. that programmable piece says it's better to give than to receive. But if you pay attention to the universal principles, the law of reciprocity in Maya says that as well as you give, you have to receive, because it's not harmony. That's out of balance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In order to be able to receive, when someone says something to you or gives you a piece of wisdom, how do you take that? Do you get upset? Do you get offended? Another form of receiving. So, are you open or closed to receiving? It doesn't always mean monetary gain. Receiving, period. Everything. Are you open to the Spirit? You have to receive the Spirit.
Right.
Are you open to your ancestors? You have to receive them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not open to receiving, then you're not open to getting or giving. It's an interchangeable word.
Right. Okay.
So I was truly a giver by nature, and what made me realize that I wasn't a receiver is I had a sister friend who's just recently made her transition. She came to stay with me because, I did, when I was living in Atlanta, I was doing trauma work for sisters, and sisters would come and they would stay, and she wanted to do some trauma medicine. And so she was trying to give me something. And I was like, no, you don't have to. She says, can you not block my blessing? Can you not block my blissfulness? Can you accept this? And she said, why don't you think that you're worthy to have? That was a light bulb moment for me. And I had to go back through that. I went and I sat with that. And I went back to my childhood. And I could hear my mother's voice. It's better to give than receive.
Yeah.
That was that programmable piece that I had to sit with. And I had to keep actually doing the shadow work, doing that dark magic with it. I had to keep sitting with that until I was able to receive. Now, you give me a penny, 2 cents, whatever you give me, my hands are open and my arms are open wide. Thank you. Whatever it may be, thank you.
Ashe. I really and I have been guilty of that as far as the receiving piece, someone ushering or giving a compliment. And as soon as you said that, that was the first thing that came to my mind. Like, oh, this whole thing, and we just downplaying ourselves. And I like how you said yourself, because I immediately thought about, the garment or whatever the compliment was referencing to, but it's really a downplay of self. And I see it all the time when you compliment people, and more so women, and they're like, oh, I've had this for so many years. Oh, this thing is old. Or, instead of gracefully accepting or receiving that compliment, it's almost like you said, that programming, it's better to be a giver than a receiver. It's almost like you feel like, oh no, I'm the good one because I'm just giving. I'm giving. So I don't hold up. I don't want to receive that because it's going to put me on the other end. But like you said, this reciprocity is the balance, the laws of my art. The balance. It's just a balance.
Well, like I said, it's that program that we were given. We wasn't, did you have compliments? Were you given compliments by your mother? Were you given compliments as a child? So you got to understand the program that's being ran. If you have not received something, you don't know how to accept. You don't know how to take that in. You don't know how to receive it because it was never given to you. So that's why I say giving and receiving is it's one word, interchangeable. So if no one has ever told you that you were beautiful, or you received bountifulness as a child, or if you received compliments, or you received certain things as a child, then you don't know how to receive it as an adult. So as a wombtress, we have to allow ourselves, when you know your worth, when you know your value, when you're rooted. So it goes back to that trust, that safety, that security, that financial stability, how you see yourself as a part of the sacral. It all goes back to those lower three chakras. When you can heal that, because it's all about a healing, when you can go in and to look at all of that, then you're able to receive. You cannot receive until you actually go in and open yourself up to it. And a lot of us don't know that we're closed to receiving, or we're open to receiving, that we're closed to giving, because that we're open to giving. A lot of us aren't even aware of that. I wasn't, but I can only talk in first person because it's my experience that makes me aware of what I was, or what I am, or what I wasn't, or what I is.
Right.
So when you see a sister who isn't open to receiving, you have to gently open that door for her. And let that wombstress know it's okay to receive a compliment, sis.
Yes.
It's okay to feel good about yourself. It's okay to receive.
Yes. And when I think about the programming part, that is really a big thing because, I was brought up as a child to not ask. I was told, you don't ask because people on the other end are expecting certain things from you. It's more so from a man. My mom always told me, no, don't be receiving nothing from no man because he expecting whatever. Not. It's my choice what I decide to do. But that is a big part of the programming. It really, really is. And it's almost like it's a poverty block. It's a poverty consciousness almost, if you will, connected to that. Because if you're feeling that you shouldn't be receiving anything, I know we've talked about it not being a financial thing all the time, but even still, poverty is not just connected to me. Poverty is not just merely connected to finances. You could have poor thoughts. To me, that's a state of poverty, to be having poor thoughts. But anyway, the balance of receiving and giving, and a lot of sisters, women, we have this, it's almost like a guard, like, that's very interesting, and we really don't know. And I think, this is the first time, I won't say the first time, but this is the first time on air that we have dived into this discussion publicly. And it is something that needs to be addressed so we can be aware, because awareness is everything, and that will bring forth the healing. And I know that the chakra work is so important. Almost every session that we've had, our sacred service, the grand rising of the matriarch, the chakras have been brought up in some type of way. And I just feel like this is a opening to speak about the 9-day chakra cleanse real briefly. If you are interested, we have a number that we'll supply, which you can text to sign up for that.
Well, where's all your stuff located at? You have 7, more than 7, but for right now, we're going to talk about the 7 energy centers of your body. And actually, we like the people call them the shadow, but they're the dark side. They are just like you have the light, what people love to be. You also have the darkness. Right. And until you can go into that darkness, you really can't walk into that light. So those are your energetic centers that keeps this physical form moving, and you have to enter into those centers to actually see the trauma and the drama. If you really ready to receive that, some people don't want to want to keep their trauma. Some people want to keep their drama. You know, but in order for you to actually rise in consciousness, know yourself, you're going to have to go inside and take a look to see.
Yes.
How do I feel about myself?
Front, back, and center. Front, back, and center.
You know, and it goes back to the roots. You know, it goes back to the root. Everything starts with the root. The root cause, the core cause, it's all about the root. Now, people, you hear, oh, I don't trust any, I don't trust nobody. Then you don't trust yourself. I don't want nobody to give me nothing. I want to open up the door and get it myself. Okay, well, you can do that. But this, if you consider yourself to be divine and sacred, then if you're carrying this all-knowing, the omniverse is going to give you. People are going to want to give you. So once again, are you open and closed to receiving? So when you sit in blissfulness and bountifulness, the receiving is going to be the blissfulness and bountiness. You're going to receive what you're emitting.
And frequency, yes.
And the emitting is the giving. Whatever you're giving is emitting from you. So you have some womb stitches who won't even give a smile, a greeting. See somebody in need and won't offer wisdom. If you have the financial support, then give. But also teach somebody how to fish. Show somebody the way. Inspire somebody. Lift somebody up. Give of yourself. You know, that's that 10%. That's that tithe that they talk about. It's not about money. It's about the giving of self, the sacrifice. Are you willing? What are you willing to sacrifice? So the more, when you emit, the more value you have, the more rooted you are, the more you are aware of who you are and how you feel about yourself, and you move that power up to the all-knowing, the all-seeing, the all-being. It goes back to being rooted, think, one. Are you one with yourself? And then you move that up to your heart, which magnifies that that love. So everything is always intertwined. You're going to emit and you're going to receive. You're going to give and you're going to receive. It's an all-day process. Do you think even in the spiritual realm, you have to give something to get something? You have to emit to receive.
Right. I love how you tie the emitting with giving, because at first when I'm thinking about giving, you know, I'm thinking about a hand-in-hand exchange. Like, even if it's not finances, I'm thinking about, okay, I gave some herbs, or, you know, okay, we gave some money, even though it's not all about that, or I gave time, or whatever it is I'm giving. But the emitting part is what got me. Whatever you're emitting with an E, not admitting, emitting, whatever your frequency is letting off. This is your giving portion. So if you're walking around with a frown and you're looking at everybody, that's what you gave. And so who are you to be mad when you get that back? Like, oh, I ain't like the way she, but that's how you've been dealing with people for, and you're not even in awareness of what you're admitting. I think that is a big, huge part. The admitting, just of giving someone a smile, a compliment, that is a gift. You gifted somebody, you gave to someone. Even with consciously walking through a place and admitting your energy with an intention that you're just spreading good vibes without even having to say anything. Just looking at people and just admitting giving, admitting with an E, giving. I love that. I absolutely love that. That's like a light bulb for me that just went off in my head. Like, wow, we're always giving. The giving and receiving part isn't just when you're consciously aware that you're giving something to someone and you're receiving something from someone. It's always happening. It's always happening. That's why self-reflection is so important. Wow, I love that. So when we talk about yes, yeah, go ahead.
You say self-reflection, I say going into the dark void.
I like that better because that's where everything begins. That's where everything is.
You're in the dark, moist womb of your mother. So everything is in the darkness. Why are we so afraid to use that word dark? Why are we so afraid to use the void? Until you can return back to the black dot. And until you can return back to the nothingness from which thou came. Even when you're in the womb, you're emitting. You're emitting all day, every day. Are you aware? And some people are aware that they're emitting, and some people don't care what they're emitting. It's a choice. But it goes back to being rooted, synced, and magnified. Because when you're truly rooted, and you have to be rooted in order to know yourself, because that starts with the chakra, which is the root, trust, safety, security, and financial stability. So when you can begin to emit that, then you walk a different path. Because if you can't deal with the three lower, there's no way you can go higher.
Right. That means
and sometimes you can be over trusting, over safe.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. That's that. How is it spinning for you? When you go in and sit in, we don't like a season. We have seasons, and if you can't sit in that season, and whatever you're emitting, it's going to show. So your receiving will come from your emitting.
As you say, we are creators of our creation.
You are the creator that creates your creation. And why can't we see this? So if your creation you might be sad. Well, you created that sadness. Just as well as you sad, you can be happy.
Right.
Just as well as you have joy, you can have pain. What did joy and pain, Frankie Beverly Mays, and one and the same? It's an interchangeable word.
Yeah.
That's the polarity. But the thing about it is when you become in harmony, you don't get caught up into whether it's joy or pain. You don't have to give it a name. You look at it, I emitted this, so thank you. There's something I need to see in this particular moment here. Mm-hmm. It's just like when your sister calls you, this is what I'm going to always say. I'm going to always hold this true. I don't care what anybody has to say. Healing don't have to be hard. Nothing in life has to be hard. Everything is so simple that we miss it. Because it has to be a big golden package, or it has to come. It's simple. It's how you see it. If you see life as being difficult, then it's difficult for you. If you see life as being hard for you, then it's hard for you. But if you practice the presence, if you practice whatever it is that you start, it gets it becomes annoying. So the more you practice, the more you can be it. So how does a virtuoso become a virtuoso? Practice. How do you know yourself? You have to sit with yourself and you have to be willing to look at yourself. Spend some time with yourself. If the virtuoso never practiced the piano or cooks or whatever it is that they love to do, then how are they going to ever master it?
Right. Right.
So it goes back to the emitting, giving, and receiving. The more you give, the more you receive. The more you receive, the more you have to give.
Yes. Yes.
So we keep praying to this, I'm going to use this word, God outside of ourselves. Outside. So when you praying, you're not praying to something outside of yourself. You're praying to yourself. If you say you divine, if you say you God, then you're praying to yourself. So we got to know who's the true God. Where is the Most High? Is it the pie in the sky or is the Most High in you?
Right. Yeah.
So if you're emitting that energy of divinity and the energy of sacredness, then guess what? That's what people are going to feel. And that's what people are going to receive from you. People can only receive you as you emit, as you give them of yourself.
Right. As you say, your energy goes before you.
Yes, always.
Yes. Yes.
You're either an emitter or a receiver.
I just have a side note. The programming part, the wanting to be so into the light and not going into the darkness or the shadow. I just had a thought that the programming it begins very early, because I'm not going to say every child, but children usually have this thing where they're afraid of the dark. I remember used to be this show on Nickelodeon. It was my favorite show. Are You Afraid of the Dark? And I can't say that I was ever afraid of the dark. I always kind of been like rebel, just ready for challenge, just like come try to scare me. It's like, because I used to see things, and I still see things, but when I was young, I used to have very vivid imagery of certain different spirits and things like that. But it never frightened me, and I wasn't afraid of the dark. But just the programming, just as thinking back as a child and thinking for the children, so many children, they come up with this thing like being afraid of the dark. Like it just strikes me like, where does that even come from? And that's crazy that we adopt that, or children adopt that so young, to be afraid of the dark. And I can understand that creates a resistance to the dark as you grow in age. Wow.
Well, the boogerman's gonna get you.
Right.
Scaring children.
In the closet.
Or the boogerman, right. So once again, it goes back to that programming. And then being carried in your mother's womb. Maybe she didn't sit in the darkness. Maybe she was the person that had to have the light on all the time. Her fears. Mm-hmm. Maybe she had fear in her while she was carrying you. And so she had fear in her. Where is that fear going to trickle down to? It's going to come through that umbilical cord, and it's going to come right to you. So if you're telling your children about the booger man, the booger bear, and, stuff up under the bed and all of that, then, what is the child going to have? And what's the programmable years for the child? From 0 to 7?
Yes.
And then you have on TV, or once again, that TV, that radio, all those things are programmed for you not to like the darkness. That's a program because if you sit in the darkness, you get to see who you are. So if I don't want you to know yourself, I'm going to make sure that you don't sit in a place where you can find yourself.
Right. Right. All these scary movies, Sandman, how you scared to go to sleep, scared to be in the dark. I remember when I was in elementary school in Massachusetts, that was like the Sandman time. So we would go into the bathroom and cut off all the lights and turn the water on and somebody look in the mirror and say Sandman 3 times, and we obviously weren't too scared because the Sandman was really gonna come. we was ready to see the Sandman, but I never was scared. It was like an adventure to me. That is so funny. The programmer never really like hit down to me like that. I was like, if the Sandman is here, I want to see the Sandman. If Freddy Krueger's for real, let me see Freddy Krueger. Where he at? Maybe he can take me on an adventure. That's just me reflecting on my childhood.
But to the child who had no fear as a child, their children are really resilient, and some of them are fearless.
Yes, 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 naturally so. And I believe that it's the conditions, as you said, the television, the environment that creates those patterns in children to become fearful of things. Because if you really sit and watch a child play, they don't fear nothing. They'll fall on their head. They just like, let's just go do this. Like, God got me. I'm just having an adventure. I'm enjoying the journey. Hot? What you mean hot? Oh, that's hot. Oh, okay. Like, they just very open and what's the word?
Receptive.
Receiving. Receptive.
Receivers.
Receiving. They are receivers. They don't business about asking. They're not worried about what you're going to think because I asked. They're like the model of ask and you shall receive. And if I don't, okay, I'm going to ask again.
I'm going to keep going until I get what I want.
Yes, yes. And that brings me to the point where you taught me the childlike essence is very important to hold on to that. And I don't mean being irresponsible and just being, like unknowing and ignorant, if you will, to certain things, but being a part of that child, just exploring. And like you said, life doesn't have to be hard. When a child comes across something that they can't really figure it out, they're not easily defeated. They're like, okay, let's give it another go. Let's give it another go. Let's keep going. So that is very important part.
And the imagination. The child, unless that child has suffered a piece of trauma, still have their imagination. So your imagination is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
When you can use your imagination, you're unstoppable.
Yeah. This reminds me, I want to share this. I minister SCG 13 made a post in regards to her travels. We are currently on tour, and she shared something that she came across. She came across a caterpillar. And, we all know that the caterpillar goes through this metamorphosis. And the video that she shared, well, first of all, she shared what it embodies a little bit about that fresh ideas, renewal, unexpected outcomes. The caterpillar doesn't wrap itself up in warm solitude while expecting to wait with wings. So her video, this caterpillar is just, she's doing her daily routine, her fitness routine. And this caterpillar is just, in the video, it's just going on the side. And what instantly came to me is, this caterpillar has no mindful understanding of what it is yet to become. And it's not rushing the process. It's not saying, oh man, if I could just hurry up and get these wings, I'm just tired of walking. I don't like this form. It's not even complaining. It has no no ability to go against the will. It has this universal will already locked into it, where it's just gracefully going on this journey, waiting for that time to come, where it will go inside of itself and come out emerged as a completely different being of the same spirit, but this transformation of having wings now and be able to take flight. That was so powerful for me, because wherever we are in our journeys, there we may get a feeling to want to hurry it up, because we're living in a microwave society where we want things to happen quick. We want it now, this instant gratification. But this true, authentic, this natural method of what is called metaphoresis, we are all going through this stage. We all go through these stages where we are elevating. And like the caterpillar, it would behoove us to not rush the process and be open to receive that which is for you on this part of that journey, and be open to giving that which you are learning upon the journey, and more so being open to receive this, again, metaphoresis, if you will. And I just had to bring that up because it seemed to tie together.
I'll say some of us are magicians. You know, we're all magicians, and it's how you use your magic. Some people can create quickly. You know what I mean? So it depends. Life is a flow, and there's a harmony. And have you cracked the code of who you are? Do you know the code? So some people have cracked that matrix and can put it and have instantaneous fruits. Where some of us have not cracked the code, so we have to take it a little bit slower. But you know where you are on the journey. So the butterfly knows exactly who she is. She's the butterfly. Mm-hmm. So she knows what she comes to be. But do you know who you are and what you come to be? You see what I'm saying? So we say that we're above nature, and we say we, above the animal, but they know exactly who they are and what they come to do. So we have to go through the process of using our imagination, and really finding ourselves, so we'll know our purpose, and we'll know our destiny, because we can have more than one purpose, we can have more than one destiny, and that we choose a good purpose and a good destiny. But how, what purpose did you choose? So I say, maybe you didn't choose such a great destiny. Maybe you're a bank robber. Maybe you chose to be a bank robber.
Okay.
But if you have a good heart, see, it's about the heart. Because in Ifa, African spirituality, in the door of Ifa, it says that if you choose a bad Ori and you have a good heart, it outweighs your bad Ori.
Ashe.
So as long as your heart, that magnification, that love is in the right place, everything's going to be all right. So we never look at the heart. We can't look at the heart because you got to get all that other stuff out the way so that you can emanate, because that's the center. The heart is the center. So how can you sit in your center and everything else is just topsy-turvy?
Right.
So it goes back to giving and receiving. What do you give to yourself? How do you receive yourself? What do you give to yourself every day? Do you give yourself unconditional love? Do you give yourself your value and your worth? Do you love on yourself? Do you speak word? Do you word sound how good you feel? Do you word sound about yourself? Do you pick yourself up? Do you receive? What do you receive about yourself? Do you receive that you're valuable? Do you receive that you're beautiful? Do you receive that you are enough? Are you receiving this? So first of all, are you open and closed to self? Because you got to give to self and you have to receive from self.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, do you pour into yourself? Do you nurture? It's about it goes back to that nurturing. The more time you can spend with self, give something to yourself. Receive something from yourself. Everything starts with self. I hear Moselle Miles. I'm going to speak her truth. Charity begins at home and it spreads abroad. It took me 64 years to understand what my mother meant. I'm charity. Everything begins with me. And everything ends with me. I go back to the airplane. When you're on that plane and that mask drops down, who do you put the mask on first? And if everybody wants to say they're selfish, how is that possible? Selfish when if you're not whole and I'm not healthy, I'll say if you're not healthy, how can you be healthy for somebody else? I'm not saying that you have to be completely healed, but at least be in a healthy state of mind. If you're in a healthy state of mind, then you're going to be admitting that. If you say you're a magnet, then you're going to draw. If you say you electricity, what does electricity do? It charges itself up. And we say we're magnetic, then we're going to draw exactly who and what we are.
Yes, when you spoke on electricity and you said it charges itself up, I immediately started to think about Ra, the sun. It is a unlimited source of energy, and I thought about solar panels. I'm like, it charges everything. I have solar panels, not solar panels, but I have things like little lights that catch the charge from the sun. And when it's nighttime, they turn on plenty power. Like we have the power. It is available to us.
Mm-hmm. So if you have a battery, where's the charge coming from the battery?
The cells.
Okay.
The cells.
So you have the black part of the battery, which is the minus. The black part of the battery is the minus, and you have that little piece that's the okay. So guess where the charge is coming from? The minus. That charges that battery, not the plus, the minus. Right. So once again, we are the charge. Sisters, womb-sisters are the charge. We get things started. We get things going. So if we are the charge, do you think that they didn't know that we were the charge? Do you think they don't? That's why we're suppressed and oppressed, because things get started with us? We started. We bring it to fruition. We the fruit. We the producers. That goes back to knowing yourself. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we're that negative ion, I like to call it. We're that ion that charges up and gets things started. Mm-hmm. My nephew, my sister's grandchild had some keys his grandfather gave him. Mm-hmm. So she said, Jordan, what's those keys to? He said, Nana, these the keys to the kingdom, to the universe. I got the keys to the universe, Nana. Do you got the keys? This is a little bitty 6-year-old child that knew what those keys were. He goes to my favorite movie. Who's the key maker? The key maker had the keys. So have we cracked the code? Do we have the keys to our nation? Do we have the keys to our queendom? Do we have the keys to the universe?
Good question. Excellent question.
So everything in nature is spiritual. Yes, everything in nature, the giving and receiving is spiritual. Everything is spiritual. Now, we can break it down to the human basic thing if you want to, but even that's still spiritual. So if you don't move through the spirit, through life as the spiritual being, and you want to stay caught up into this physical form or this physical being, then it's okay too. It's just like the sister that can't get past her trauma or her drama, who carries that victim role. Well, if you're giving out victim mentality, victimhood, then that's what you got to receive, victimhood. If you're giving out, I accept full responsibility and I'm not a victim, you got to receive, I'm not a victim. So you give and receive to yourself first. That's the entertainment, that's that door, that's that revolving door. Mm-hmm. 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 So we talked about, you brought up how giving and receiving is one of the same, yes? So the giving portion, we hear the word stingy, and then you also talked about selfish, and people are like, oh, you're so selfish, but you have to take care of self first. I was just telling somebody else that they were saying that they do so much for other people, and I had to tell them, well, you can't pour from an empty cup. You have to first fill up your own cup before you're able to pour out a share. Yes. So the giving part, how does that tie? Well, we spoke on how it ties into receiving being one and the same, but just for everyone else, what are some points that we could touch on in regards to the giving? Okay, well, why would you give to somebody else? What is about yourself that you don't think you worthy to give to yourself? I don't know what giving. Giving. It speaks for itself. It's when you decide to give something. I can't tell you what to give. Right. Me. I give myself every morning. I give myself my prayers. I give myself my meditation. I give myself unconditional love, because when I'm in my love zone, because I'm sending out love song. That's what I give myself. Yes. I give myself something to feed my spirit, my mind, my heart, my body, my emotional, my physical, and my etheric. So I'm always giving because I'm looking for stuff. Sometimes I don't want to read a book. So I'll actually find something to go out, my spirit will say, go ahead to YouTube. It'll guide me. So I give to my womb sisters. I send out things around being uplifting, inspirational. I'm an inspiration. I'm inspired. Those are the things that I use to give. When I talk to a sister, I give myself 100%. When I do my medicine, I give 100% of myself. I give you more than enough. Sometimes I give you too much and you can't handle it all. It could be overwhelming.
Yes, I could definitely vouch for that. I spent an ample amount of time with you. We've even traveled to Alabama, and I have sat and assisted with your Reiki classes. And when we came back home to your place, to the Queen Mother's Ancestral Sacred Palace, you was like, oh, well, I'm going to train you in DNA Reiki and restoration Reiki. Oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I was like, you know me, I'm like, oh, okay, I've been taking off. But I'm like, oh, and then you're like, oh, and then we're going to do wound healing, and then we're going to do yoni steam. And I'm like, oh, you have so much to offer. And at times it can be, I don't even like to use the word overwhelming, but it can definitely fill your cup and have it overflowing. Definitely. I can definitely attest to when Ia comes through and she on fire and she's feeling that love vibe. Oh yes, she is giving, and she's always listening and instructed by spirit. And we're so grateful, so grateful for that.
So like I said, and then if I'm out, when I was out and about, I always kept change on me. I always kept money in my pocket. So when I would see someone And they would ask, I would give. But I gave, so all of that is a part of giving. And the wisdom. Now, I could say, I'm not going to share so-and-so. Why would I not share? Someone share with me. Or they got to pay for this. So, you have to decide on the giving piece is different. But I can tell you, the more I decide to give, not only to myself and to others, the more I will have received from the spirit world, from the spiritual world, from the just totally everything.
Yeah.
You become you receive from the fountain of life.
The real fountain of life.
The real fountain. Real. And the wisdom, she opens up her doors and she gives you much, much, much more.
The wisdom piece. We read passages in which wisdom and understanding was asked foremost, and all other things were added on. That is important, to ask for that wisdom and understanding about yourself, to get to know who you are, to get in tune with the power that you hold, the ashe that is running through you from your lineage, the power that we have. That is very important. We're a lot of people material, and I get it. It would be less of a burden if everything was just there, boom. And it can be, because like you said, our thoughts are so powerful. But it's just a matter of deprogramming, reprogramming, deleting old files, just like the computer, like we talked about, the computer. We are based off the computer, so we have to do some of the same things. When your phone is getting full and you can't accept any more pictures, or you can't save anything else in the cloud, you got to delete this. There's some things that we have to delete. There's some things that we have to reprogram. There's some things that we must do to really tap into this power, because it's there. It is there. And we all have an opportunity to connect to that which is a part of us. It's not anything outside of ourselves that we're looking to draw into us. As you mentioned, it's within us. It is us. We are the golden liquid, as I-Minister Solution 13 says. I see coming through. I see the golden liquid. Yes. This is the essence of who we are. The golden liquid, this melanin being, this all-powerful being, that is what is within us all. That is what is within us all. Got to give thanks. Got to give thanks. Got to give thanks.
Give thanks. Give thanks. Give thanks.
You got to. You got to give thanks. No matter how it's looking, you have to remain grateful and thankful. It's been years I've been knowing im-ojyemi in particular. And every time I ask her how she is doing, she says, thankful and grateful. Thankful and grateful. And I mean, regardless, and I am a living witness, regardless of what is going on within your outer circumstances, within your situation, if you find something to be grateful for, it is going to hold you. It is going to carry you, thankful and grateful. And there is an abundance to be thankful and grateful for as you rise. An acknowledgement of that breath that you're taking, because that breath was already being given. So when you become an awareness of this breath you're taking, give thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Shape and mold your day. The imagination. Children go to sleep with such a high level of imagination. Rise up with a high level of imagination. I encourage everyone to get
in tune with their childlike essence. This is a key to giving and receiving and giving, which is one and the same, as we have discussed here in this wonderful service this evening. I'm so grateful, so grateful, so grateful for Minister im-ojyemi. I'm so grateful, so thankful for Minister SEG 13. I'm so thankful, so grateful for Minister Solution 13. I'm so grateful for myself, me. I'm grateful for me.
Oh, sure.
I'm grateful and thankful for me, for the essence and the ancestral bloodline that flows through me. I'm so grateful for the spirit that moves through me. I'm grateful to be able to channel messages from spirit to serve my people. I Minister Ready Saki Precious SEG9. Okay? Yes, it's more than one SEG. We got SEG9 in the building and SEG 13 in the building. Yes. Giving thanks. Honors to mastervibration13.com. Please go to our website. Click on our vision. Read up on what it is that we are doing. We are on tour, as I stated earlier. We are traveling. We are making connections and reaching people. We are in the process of purchasing property so that we can have our self-healing center for others to come to rejuvenate, rejuvenate, regenerate. We're so grateful. Already Healing is also wanting to go on tour with Cat Lady Crazy. And we are in need of an RV to travel to our area and spread the healing. We give thanks for all those who have their hearts and hands open, if it so moves you. We have a Cash App link, which is $SEG13 Love. Whatever you can give, it is divinely appreciated, and it will divinely go unto you as many times as you imagine. Yes, tenfold is law, but we're speaking on the imagination. So if you wanted 100-fold, you can get that back too. We're so grateful for all those who have tuned in with us. We give thanks. We give thanks. We give thanks.
Sound of music vibrating in me. I take hold of the energy and ride the frequency. My soul makes the melody of my life, so I must see. Every tune that comes through me brings balance to my being. I have the power to change the direction in me through sound. I have the power to change the direction in me through my mind. I am creation. I am H, 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 13.